What's going on, everybody? It's your girl, Ray P. Welcome back to another episode of the We Got Y'all podcast. Of course, I'm not here alone. I am joined by one of my very, very, very good friends, somebody who will not leave me stranded in Lamaze class, father or not.
Facts, man. I'll pull up.
But I for sure know I can call on him. What's going on, Kieron?
It's chilling, slow motion, man. Yeah, I'm definitely not letting Rachel get kicked out of Lamar's class. You know how embarrassing it is to get kicked out of couples Lamar's. I'm pulling up for Ray P, man, making sure she good.
Crazy.
Good, man. I'm doing well. I'm excited to talk about Harlem, and Harlem's doing their thing this season, and it's upsetting that they only have 6 episodes. Like
Yeah.
I was thinking, Rachel, we after this we have one more episode, and
Recording
that's it.
session. Yeah.
Like grand opening, grand closing.
Crazy.
Yeah, man. Welcome back to everyone. Thank you
Mhm.
for tuning in as always. We appreciate it. Got some feedback about the first 2 episodes. People just wanted to talk about the show anyway and some of the things
Yeah.
that went on. So we appreciate all y'all. Please remember to like, subscribe, share the whole nine. We got y'all is very active at the moment. So
Mhm.
even though Harlem's ending next week, we still got another show. I think take a week off and then we right back
We'll
at
be
it,
right back.
if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken. So yeah, exciting times going on. So we appreciate y'all. It's funny because some people. Oh, before we get started, there will be explicit content,
Yeah.
spoilers, alerts. So don't go any further if you've not watched the episodes. And obviously, as we mentioned, we are discussing Harlem. Um, Before I get your opening thoughts, and before we kind of get into like the episodes themselves, I do just want to mention a lot of people were upset with Camille keeping that baby. Did you get any feedback like that? I've got numerous people that reached out and said, I hate to say this, but I don't know why Camille kept that baby.
Everybody is so strict. I understand why Camille kept that baby. I saw a commentary and I didn't get any direct feedback to me specifically surrounding her and
Yeah.
the baby, but I did see a lot of chatter on the internet of people being upset with Camille. If I have a 1 in 50,000 chance of naturally conceiving a baby at almost 40 years old and having whatever physical, I don't want to say ailment, but roadblocks that she has to conception, no, I'm not surprised she kept her baby.
Yeah. I mean, I
Situation
think it was
is
more.
fucked up, but no, I'm
Yeah,
not surprised.
I think it was more the Ian thing than
Mhm.
anything. But we'll get into it. If you
I got
can't
some
tell already, I got answers. If you can't, if you can't tell already, this is more of a general conversation. If you're new to We Got Y'all, we don't do a scene by scene breakdown. Actually, for shows like Harlem, we're going to do a character breakdown. So we'll
Mhm.
discuss each character individually, and they'll all weave in together at some point. Um, Shout out to Tracy Oliver, creator
Shut
of
up,
Harlem.
Tracy.
Definitely want to shout
Sure.
her out. So we have episode 3, Rachel. Can we
How long?
talk for a minute? Huh? Come on, man, get up out of here. Speaking of singing, Rachel, guess what comes back next week?
What comes back?
Guess what comes back next Friday?
What's back next Friday with singers?
It ain't about singers.
Oh,
No, it took me some time to be the one that you wanted me to be. Oh, now I'm ready. I'm
I'm ready
ready for
for
love.
love.
Hey man, let's get it. Ready for Love is coming back, man. That's my shit, y'all.
Shout
I don't
out to
even watch
DJ Morton.
I don't even watch reality TV, but I do watch that shit. If you still here after my singing back to back, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I promise. That's it. That's the last of it. But can we talk for a minute? Episode 3 was directed by the legend Tasha Smith,
Yes.
absolute legend. Written by Az Mira Dungy and Elisa Cohen. Synopsis: Things heat up between Quinn and her new beau. Camille receives a large dose of reality while Angie makes a big decision. Ty breaks the rules she once wrote, and Ian steps up when Camille is in need. As far as episode 4, titled Foot Rub, it is directed by Shay William Vanderpoort, written by Aaron Michelle Williams and Az Marie Dungy. As far as the synopsis, we have a time jump, just FYI.
Crazy.
Camille and Ian, you're right. Camille and Ian share a brief happy moment. Ty enjoys quality time with her new interests until work feedback disrupts things. Quinn's relationship and career reach new heights. Angie excels in her new gig, but tension arises with Mike over its significance. Rachel,
Yeah.
Bike to Bike episodes. What were your opening thoughts as you watched Harlem?
So you started it. Harlem is doing its thing. These 4 episodes have actually been really, really, really good. When we
Mm-hmm.
came in last week to discuss the first 2 episodes, we talked about maybe being hard on season 2. But I'm telling you, season 3 in its finality has been really, really, really good. I'm impressed. I'm not super mad at anybody, but I do have some side eyes. My Angie side eye is creeping back up and around because I she was my least favorite character turned almost favorite character, and now she's sinking in the rankings again. I've got my
Hmm.
eye on Angie.
Hmm.
Because
It's
just
funny because I changed my thought of what we had last week. I think they are getting married, but go ahead.
you do still think that they are.
Yeah. No, I didn't think they did. They were last week. After this week's episode, I think they built for it.
I don't all the way know, for real, for real.
All right, we'll talk about it.
I don't think that Mike and Angie are super aligned. Um,
Hey, you be knowing.
I don't think Angie hasn't met Mike's parents at this current juncture, whether they're close or not. We're getting married, picking venues. At some point, you're going to meet my parents, and it's not going to be at the wedding. That's kind of crazy to me. You have no background information. I guess we're into it, guys. We're going to start with
Oh,
Angie.
I know, my fault. I didn't even mean it. I didn't even mean to cut off your original thoughts. Did you
Yeah,
have anything
no, but
else you wanted
that's
to say? You
it.
want to get into it? Okay.
Yeah, no, let's roll with it.
All right.
So you've not met his parents. He obviously hasn't met yours. We're at least 8 months if we combine episodes 3 and 4. We're up to 8 months,
Forget
in
all
said
that.
relationship.
Forget all that. They met season 2.
Y'all met season
They've
2.
been doing this. So we're
So y'all,
past 8-9 months
so
of
let's
them
give them
knowing each
at
other and
least a
dating.
year.
Yeah.
A year-ish.
Probably 18 months, I'd say.
No, because remember, at the end of season 2, we find out that somebody is pregnant. That's the cliffhanger.
Oh
It
yeah. And
jumps
she
to
had already
12
been.
weeks. So let's put them two months together prior to that. So
Okay.
just around a year, you guys
Okay.
have been together. You've not met his parents. He's not met your ginormous family. He invited you to that one birthday party that you didn't go to because your hair was fucked up on the Hallmark shoot.
Mm-hmm.
There's been no introduction, or as far as we know, or discussion to anybody else in your life. Where are these friends that you were going to meet at the one party? We've not seen them. No family, no friends. High key, I think that your job is trivial. Not that you want to be in the theater, but I don't like this bullshit you're doing. I think it's lowbrow, and high key, I'm embarrassed by it.
All right. I push back a little bit on that. I think
By all
initially
means.
that's I think initially everything you said about the family, I can't. There's nothing to say about that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the way I think Mike really loves Angie. And I don't think that he is going to if he had it his way, sure, she'd be doing something else artistically other than singing about drugs in her booty. But I really do believe him when he said that I want you to be taken seriously because you want to be taken seriously. Maybe this isn't the way. I think his approach was wrong. I think it was more of a talking to versus a conversation. And it's like giving my feedback and giving what I think. Like I'm happy that you approach that conversation. Like I love that you love this. I'm gonna support you regardless. Have you ever thought about it like this? It might not be a concern. I don't know much about the theater. That's what I'm saying. Well, Mike, that's what I'm saying. I don't know much about the theater. It might not be a
Yeah,
concern. This is a big break. I know you have to take it. And we all know in the entertainment industry, there are a lot of people who take roles that they don't want to take
for sure.
just for the sake of being in the game,
For
giving
sure.
yourself a chance. And I think two things can be true. I think he is naturally embarrassed, but I think he loves Angie so much
Mm-hmm.
that he's cool with it.
Until he's not.
Until he's not. Now he definitely gives the vibes of until it's not. Like it's all good until it ain't. Like I don't know. I figured that the credit card would have been what set him off.
I didn't even get to the $50,000 charge on my MX.
Yeah, we don't have to get there yet. I think that's part of that's one of the downfalls of having your season or series, excuse me,
Mhm.
wrap
For
to
sure.
6 episodes because you
For
don't get
sure.
that development. I think if you have 10 episodes, maybe we do get a little bit different storyline with Mike because
Mhm.
there are moments like we shouldn't be feeling so certain last week that they are not getting married. And I know you don't feel that way, but I'm already in the camp of I think he really does love her. They're gonna work this out. Mainly because of how things worked out with the credit card and her conversation. I think they had good open dialogue, and she's able to take her time and process things and then come back and say, listen, like this is actually what I like. I think he supports that. So it's interesting.
I agree that they have a seemingly good working relationship. I think that he does love her. I think that he's charmed by her in that sing song speaking all the time. I think that
Hey, let me ask you, is drugs in my booty a bop?
listen, Angie did the damn thing. The
Hey man, Angie
performance
killed
was
it.
fire. So
Yeah.
I would want to see it. I want to see
It,
the show.
I would see the show. I ain't gonna hold you. I would.
But he hasn't seen the movie. We knew that last week he hadn't seen it. So again, 8 months have gone by and you still haven't sat down with your nigga and watched the movie to the performance that you're in your first leading role.
That's fair. That's a very good point.
What y'all
Very
doing
good
at
point.
that house?
Let me ask you this. What do you think about he brought up in this conversation where they're doing the cake testing.
Mm-hmm.
If I knew I wanted to sell luxury real estate, if I would have just went for these rinky dinks, for lack of a better term, type of homes, I'd be on a park bench while people waiting for the bus versus being in Forbes and all that.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about that? Because I personally, I'm not once again, your message can be pure, but your the way you deliver it can be
Delivery
all kind of
matters.
the delivery matters because it seems like once again, it seems like he's talking down to her a
Down.
little bit and being critical. And I'm a big believer, like your journey's not my journey. You can't. This is my vision. This is something that's been placed on me and my heart and my soul. How you gonna tell me what it is? So I'm very big on that. So I get that works for you, but that might work for me. And Angie, generally, like she said, I love doing this. I don't care what it
Mm-hmm.
is. I love the art. I love the practice of it.
Yeah. I agree with you. And again, consider in somebody audience, writers, cast, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. It's implied that aside from him being a successful luxury real estate agent, realtor, he also comes from money.
That hair,
So
you said, my nigga, you see that haircut? That nigga definitely come from money.
you definitely come from money
Yeah, that nigga
because
definitely
you
come from
don't
money with that haircut.
survive the real world walking around with that fucking Gumby in the new millennium. You're just
I
not
told
gonna
you.
do it.
I
Um,
said, I've said it once. I said it a million times, Rachel. To your point, Pops always said, "Never trust a black man without a mustache."
no facial hair, a horrible haircut, condescending, not seen a black movie, one of the biggest quote unquote black movies in the last decade to come out. You haven't seen it? You been with me, I'm starring in it. We ain't watched it. There was I don't want to say a throwaway line, but a line in our last episode, and so between 1 and 2 of we have plenty of time to watch movies. It's been 8 months since then. Y'all still ain't watched no movies. You still
Mm.
haven't watched Girls Trip. You haven't taken a real interest in what it is that I do. You care. You like that I'm artsy. You want me to be a successful actor. Maybe you want me to truly, truly do theater because that fits with um highbrow entertainment versus a silly musical about some bullshit where the big number is I got drugs in my booty.
Ah, damn it, Rachel.
You haven't met none of my people. We are isolated. We live on an island. It is just me and you. And you can have a beautiful relationship like that, but you have to branch out. We're to the point of looking at venues. We're preparing for marriage and we really don't know shit about each other because I know how much Angie needs this, quote unquote, as an audience member. I know how much Angie loves theater. I know that she doesn't have many quote unquote breaks left. Why you don't know that? Do you know the history of her theater journey, her entertainment, musical journey? It doesn't sound like you do, because if you did, you wouldn't be discouraging her from the one thing that's actually about to pan out.
Well, damn. All
Whether
right, you
you
might
care
have,
for the show or not.
yeah, you might have me on your side right now. It's funny because there's a moment in the episode where Mike accuses Angie of doing the exact same thing, like never taking the time
You didn't ask.
to ask. Yeah. So that we'll talk about that. So they're at the cake test, and we talk about, he brings this up
Mhm.
and his whole path. He mentions, if it's money you're worried about, don't worry about that. You
Don't
about to be my
pacify me
wife,
with no black card, nigga.
right? That nigga handed the black card over, hey, and said, here you go. This is yours. And keep in mind, one thing that I think is important: this isn't. It's not like Angie has been doing this, as far as a caught her break, and been doing this for
Mhm.
15 plus years. This is her first lead ever. Like, we know how exciting that is.
Yep.
All your firsts are normally exciting, especially when you get in spaces like that and it's something that
Mhm.
you're passionate about. So you can definitely understand that. But before this, early in the episode, we see them looking at Shaprani, which is a wedding venue, huge venue. SZA performed
Concert
there.
venue,
Yeah.
everything. The only reason I know about Cipriani's is from the JBP.
Hey man,
And they talked about it. So it's like that for sure.
it looked like it. It looked like it was
Mhm.
like that. And obviously, Angie's in love with it. Mike is not so thrilled with the idea of a large wedding. We've already been teased with this last
Mhm.
week when we had episodes 1 and 2. Um, Obviously, what do you call it, the wedding planner? Is
Yeah.
she a wedding planner, or does she represent the
She might just be
actual?
the event space
She might
planner.
be the event space
Mhm.
planner. She knows what she's doing.
For
She
sure.
sees Angie loves it. So once you get that in, you kind of put the pressure on. She ends up calling after Mike says we need to think about it, and says, "Hey, I got somebody else looking at it." And of course, as all great salesmen do, you put them in the corner. Like, nah, nigga, now or
Mhm.
never.
Mhm.
Angie immediately, and I thought of you. I forget what we were doing. We were doing Malcolm and Marie, and
Mhm.
you were asking why Malcolm doesn't know his debit card number.
Bruh.
And Angie immediately knew that MX card number. $50,000.
50 fucking $1,000.
Which we didn't know because Angie didn't ask.
This is a felony. You might be in jail fucking with me.
What would you do, Rachel, if you have a $50,000? Like, don't. I'm gonna be real with you. I would have been hot about my Uber accounts getting canceled if I was Quinn and Angie did that
Come
shit.
on.
Let
Come on.
alone $50,000 to my card that you ain't talked to me about.
Angie is a habitual line stepper. I forgot all about Quinn and them Ubers.
Nah, for real. Nah, that'd have got me high. Let me be somewhere and I'm trying to get home and my
And
shit
now I
just
can't.
suspended. Oh nah, nigga, it's gonna be more than words.
Furniture moving, slow singing and flower bringing. Angie is crazy as fuck for that. That's, I already said it. $50,000. That is a felony. I love you so much, but if we cannot get this canceled, you might have to go down.
Nah, man, I can't
I
look at you
don't
the
care how
same if you
much
do that.
money I have. So here's the thing. It's sort of a catch 22. He threw that money at her, threw the card. Here you go. It's yours.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I know that that is for incidentals. Maybe a little something, something, a little luxury bag, this, that, and the third. But not once was it ever going to be a $50,000 charge.
Right.
And if the deposit is 50,000,
Yeah, how much
what
is the
the
venue?
fuck does the venue cost? And
Yeah.
as the party with little to no money, your family ain't got it. You are not of means. So I have to come up off of this for some shit that I don't even really want, not even really, I don't want to do in the first place. Are you
That's
fucking crazy?
that's the killer part of it. Like, I'm paying for some shit I don't even want to do. Like, I
Absolutely
don't
not.
even want to do this. Y'all got me all fucked up.
Absolutely
Like, ain't
not.
no wedding. Yeah, ain't no wedding.
Absolutely not. Angie
I've
is
been
so
hot.
out of line. Go ahead.
And he was cool. Like, I was just about to say, shout out to Mike for building a life. Or I think we talked about it. I think Mike definitely came from bread.
I mean, he got a
Um,
windfall for sure.
yeah, because his coolness about the whole situation, like I said, it would have been over. It would have
Mm-hmm.
been up. My cousins would have been called. It would have been them. It would have been them coming in the crib and not me. Like,
Listen,
nigga, handle her $50K without being out. And she was on some like, glad you came home early, like on some cool shit. And I know. All right, man. All right, Angie.
she knew she
But
fucked up, and that's why she was in that white lingerie. Cause let me let me do something to make you feel good. In the words of Boosie, let me ease your mind. Let me prepare for the night ahead. Cause I know I got to work that 50 stacks off. But again, to my earlier point, once they get past him being cool, you didn't even ask.
mm-hmm.
We are a year into this relationship. You don't know shit about my family situation and vice versa. That does not bode well. Because what the fuck are y'all talking about? Are y'all just having fun and getting caught up in the whimsy of it all? And that's actually what I'm starting to think.
Let me ask you something.
Yes.
And I don't know if this is, I don't know. I mean, obviously you can't prove it, but I think that's a New York thing. I think people who live in New York, especially transplants,
Mm-hmm.
I know Angie's not one. I don't know if Mike is or not. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, he feels like a transplant. I think people go to New York to escape their families and other lives, like build whatever life they had there, and I think that's all that really matters. I don't think it's I don't think it's not. I don't think it's out of a character for Angie not to ask or be weirded out by not meeting his family. The same way it would be for you and I, where to be, I would never be with somebody for that long and never even had mention or talk or discussions or even know that about their family.
That's the thing. And that can lead us into Ty once we wrap up.
Yeah.
Once we wrap up the Angie and Mike of it all, howsoever, I think you're right. Yes, I can go escape my family, but a year into the relationship and we are planning for marriage, we have to at some point have spoken about your family dynamic, because the reality is that is going to play into how we raise our kids that you can't wait to have.
Mm-hmm.
And really, that's a conversation that needs a little bit more investigating, because if you don't have a good relationship with your parents and your family, and you're in such a rush for us to create a family, why?
Yeah.
Are you going to abandon them later? Like, we need to talk about this. We need to get into the meat and potatoes of our familial dynamics. And we know nothing. You might know, he might know some shit about Angie just because she is open book, very forthcoming.
Nah,
But
that's real.
I don't know shit
Uh,
about your people. Do y'all
nah,
have
I,
shit to
that's a
tell? Like, what's going on? I don't know.
I just started Tupac. Uh, shout out to Mobb Deep, man. I just started Tupac when that shit was
Oh
silly.
man.
R.I.P. Prodigy. Um, those are all great points. We'll see. Now, like I said, I really thought that they were going to get married, mainly because at the end of the episode, or end of their scenes,
Mm-hmm.
she gave that card back, and I think that's real play. I think that showed him something that
For
she,
sure.
if nothing else, she's a go getter. Like,
For
she's not
sure.
here for me to or trying to lean on my money, which I don't think he ever had that concern, because he's openly
Yeah.
offering credit cards and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. But I think that might show a little bit more about who they are. I think everything you said about them makes complete sense, and I think they might reach a point where, I'm trying to think of an example, because we've seen it before where you cool, but we just realize,
Mm-hmm.
man, this ain't it. Even when Quinn, to a smaller degree, when Quinn had I know it's her real life husband, but in season 2, when they were over in Mexico,
Mm-hmm.
and she met him, it was kind of like, this is where I am in life. We
Yeah.
good. Like, I fuck with you, but I need to take this journey. I think they might realize they're not for each other in that way.
Mm-hmm.
We can transition to Ty, and I think the perfect way to do it is just real quick. What do you think
Yeah.
about Angie and Ty's conversation when Angie asked her about, and the fact that she went to Ty, and specifically like before the others get here, what do you
Mm-hmm.
think about this? And Ty was the one that kind of told her, like, listen, this seems like a good chance. Like, what do you think about her going to Ty over everybody else, and Ty's advice before we talk about Ty's own life?
Yeah, well, Ty is the only other one to truly get it up out the mud the way in which Angie is trying to do.
Yeah.
Camille is an academic and she's made strides, but she ain't her head is not that far above water in her own life. Her relationship situation is a fucking mess. Her career situation is less than desirable unless you're just
Yeah.
a freelance ass nigga. Commit or Quinn, same thing. Silver spoon. So you don't really have to grind, even though you work hard with the boutique and now with styling. That's what's up. But you ain't really had to be a hustler. You haven't had to figure it out. And you really haven't had successful relationships. I can go to Ty about it, even though Ty is fucked up and definitely needs to be sitting on somebody's couch. Um, Ty
Facts.
has been married. Ty has built a business. She has made a name for herself. And I know that you are also navigating a new relationship in a way that makes a little bit of sense to me. That is, dare I say, a little bit more relatable than what uh Quinn and Seth are doing, because Ty and Eva, even before breaking the celibacy, have been intentional about how they're moving with each other, which on its surface is how Mike and Angie were trying to move.
Yeah. All great points once again. Ty, you
Mhm.
mentioned Ty and Eva. Let's talk about it because man, what a difference it makes when you are intentional about what it is that you're trying to do.
For sure.
And you can see that Ty is taking some time. It's a completely different version of her
Hmm.
than we've seen the first couple seasons on She Be Toxic and everything else, the way she moves. She really likes Eva and she's really having self
Yeah.
control. And there's a lot of cool things that are going on. But first and foremost, I don't know where they were for that date.
Hmm.
That should look dope. I think it was an aquarium of some
It was
sort.
aquarium, yeah.
But I don't know, it looked like a contemporary aquarium of some sort, just the way it was lit.
Some new shit.
Either way, that's one of the first signs we see of going back to your point earlier about even or Mike and Angie.
Hmm.
Eva's asking these questions and
Yeah.
realizing like once I found out that you just dipped,
Come on.
like you left instead of having a tough conversation, that is a red flag. That is something to be concerned about. And that is something I'm not going to leave you for it, but we need to discuss this. And you're avoiding it. Like there's something deeper here, and that's going to lead to. And she called her out, and we said it last week on our episode. This whole celibacy thing is not. What do you think that's going to prove? Quinn asked her, "What is this going to do for you?" And she said, "All you're doing. This is a cosmetic fix
Hmm.
to some deeper rooted issues."
Hmm.
Um, how are you feeling their dynamic? Because there's a lot more that went on with them, obviously. Just the way they're connecting, the way Eva kind of pushes her, challenges her, and the way that Ty, as we see as viewers, are growing, or we're
Hmm.
watching her grow, should I say?
So first off, I like cupcakey relationship Ty. I like it. It's a bit. It shows the maturation of Ty. I
Yeah.
think that the whole she be toxic thing, and even everything that went on with Amy, and I think Zoe was the daughter's name, was good for Ty. You know, it was good that she was afflicted
Mm-hmm.
in that scenario because it did cause her to grow up. And even if celibacy is just a cosmetic fix, sometimes you really do got to sit that hot box down and just think about some things. I like Eva. I like Eva for Ty. She's not a pushover.
Yep.
She is very resolute. She has her own money and success. So I cannot manipulate you into tricking off on you. I'm not impressed by it. I also
Yeah.
am someone of means or who has amassed means and with the success and business acumen. I can do this shit. I don't need you, but I desire you. I like your company. I
Mm-hmm.
like your conversation. Word to homegirl, I want you around. Like I like you. I like this shit, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of the Eva of it all.
Whenever someone you're with, especially romantically, puts that fire in you to get better,
Mm-hmm.
for yourself and for them, that's when you know. And that takes, like I said earlier, that takes the time of being intentional, and getting to know Rachel, you and I say it all the time. Like, I ain't gonna do my dog like that. I ain't gonna do my
That's
nigga
it.
like that. When you become friends first, before
Mhm.
Ty, I think when they were in the bed, Ty mentioned like by the first 24 hours, she don't even give him 48. By the first 24, I'm so annoyed that I'm just making up trips to get up out of here. And that happens when air quotes the end goal is met, smash and
Yeah,
dash.
that's
And there's
it.
nothing else that Ty has interest in. Why would I
Mhm.
want to get to know you after we've
Yeah.
already done this? We're seeing the opposite. And like I said, it's not just a reflection of Ty herself, it's also a reflection of relationships in general. When
Mhm.
you kind of take that time and kind of ease into things and see if there is something there. And that makes her more, she sees Eva in a different way because she never gave anyone else the opportunity to be seen in that light.
Mhm.
And obviously, Eva has a lot to do with that. She's dope. She's just an incredible person.
Yeah.
But also, like you said, the maturation of Ty, we are able to see it. She ends up ending her celibacy because not only do you want to get better for yourself, but you accept that feedback of a partner that pushes you because your
Mhm.
partner's not going to let you get stagnant. Like real friends, real people, they don't let you just be average unless you've
Yeah.
addressed like this is who I want to be. I've reached my height. Like I love what I do. I reached my height. I don't have any more like professional
Mhm.
goals, personal goals. This is it. I've made the life that I want. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's cool. Happy for you. I hope we all get there. But unless that's not the case, like no real person is going to let you. All right, man. Like we doing the same shit we was doing 10 years ago.
Mhm.
And she opens up to that. So she ended her celibacy. Obviously, easy choice, but because she did realize, all right, I'm just masking this issue. And
Mhm.
even to the point where I'm looking at and thinking about buying flights back to Georgia.
Yeah.
The flight was $106 from New York to
Crazy.
Georgia. This shit's crazy.
Crazy.
Um, that's some COVID prices. Um, Even talking about giving her a drawer.
Mhm.
So we know it's something real and spending the
Big
time because
minnow.
you know what it's like to, and we all can relate on what it's like. And if not anybody out there listening, me and Rachel definitely can, of how important your space is and
For
not
sure.
just letting anybody in that space. And even then, not overstaying your welcome.
For
Like, yes,
sure.
you can be in here, but it's only here for a while. We're not doing the everyday thing. And Ty is slowly but surely falling for that. And that means those are good indicators that you found your person. But we do get to some tension, Rachel.
For sure.
We talked about challenging each other
Uh-huh.
and being real. Go ahead. Go ahead. You can lead it in.
Oh, yeah. So, we see this after Ty gives Eva the top middle drawer because it's bigger. They plan a work date situation at Ty's office so they can be around each other. We can still spend that time and actually get some work done. Eva is seemingly frustrated, a sigh, and Ty responds. She provides her some not even creative criticism, but she just gives her feedback of what it is that Eva needs to be doing. It works. Eva then goes to return the favor and provide Ty with some insight. And Ty is not going. It Ty is very much offended by Eva's feedback. She's like, I'm giving you constructive criticism. She did call her presentation basic, which
Triggering word.
you could have used a better word.
Yeah, definitely. That's a trick. That's a trigger word for sure.
She for sure could have used a better word, but also
I'm sorry, man.
Ty,
That just reminded me of He Got Game when Jake asked Jesus about like, boy, if your mom could see you, that's a wrong way to start a conversation with me.
that's the
That's how
wrong
Ty was.
way
That's a wrong way to start a conversation. Don't call my shit basic.
for sure. So Ty obviously becomes defensive and essentially kicks Eva out. So all of this beauty and maturation and closeness, and this is their first.
Hold on.
It
Hold on, Rachel. She didn't kick
uh-huh.
her out. She dismissed her. You can go.
You can fucking go is crazy.
You can go is nuts.
You ain't never got to worry about me.
Hey, don't
I
even
believe
bother. Don't
you.
even bother.
You don't have to worry about me. But this, for as much as we've seen Ty grow, this shows us where she still is.
Mm-hmm.
Not just because Ty is the boss, It's a little bit deeper than that. I'm sure you've gotten feedback from partners, not romantic partners, but business partners and whatnot before. I'm sure they've
She,
wanted you to tweak some things.
Eva said it later on.
Hmm.
I've seen you take harsher critiques from white counterparts
Uh-huh.
much better than this.
Hmm.
Nikki Giovanni, James Baldwin.
Lie to
Just
me.
saying. Yeah, man. You smile on their face all day, but when I give you some real shit to make you better, I get dismissed. Like you can go. You can go.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You're right.
You
You're
can
right.
go
I
with
can't.
fucking crazy. You're
You're right.
absolutely right. And you don't have to worry about seeing me. But we also later learned that some of that is the reality of critique, which can feel like harsher criticism when it comes from somebody that you care about. And the
That's fair.
reality is that we haven't seen Ty care about anybody except for Ty in 3 seasons of TV. So clearly, she doesn't quite know how to deal with that her damn self. She doesn't quite know what to do with those feelings. So instead of actually listening and considering what Eva was saying, she took it as Eva attacking her. And that was not the case,
Mhm.
despite Eva not using the best language.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. That was shit. It was genuine. It was
Yeah.
genuine. And you can tell. I don't know. We try to we guess or not. We didn't try. You successfully guessed the timeline of
Mhm.
Mike and Angie's relationship.
Yeah.
I'm assuming maybe we're 2-3 months into this whole Eva Ty thing. There is that tricky moment
I
when
think they into the 8 months too.
are they in the 8 months? Oh yeah, because they
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting about the time jump. Thank you. All right, well, that kind of negates what I was gonna say because there's always that tricky moment when you think when you get to know someone and you think you can maybe joke about something
Mhm.
y'all ain't ready to joke about or
Yep.
say things a certain way that she's not ready, he
Yep.
or she's not ready to receive.
Yep.
And it can be kind of funny because I don't think I know Eva thought that I can just be upfront and use this language. I can call your shit basic, and I don't mean it in a trash way. I mean it in a you're better than this way. And once again,
Yep.
trigger words like basic. And when it comes to my work and everything I've done, and we know if Ty doesn't have anything else, she has an ego.
That's it.
And it is
That's
hard,
it.
like like homie from Chicago said, man, hard to be humble when you stunting on the jumbotron. When I built something and I made millions and I've sold
Mhm.
this, like
Mhm.
it's hard to take advice and input from people. You ain't done. I've been doing this more than you.
Yeah.
Shout out to him again. So it's an interesting thing. I do want to know because they've been teasing Ty's parents and visiting
Mhm.
Georgia too much to where
Yeah.
we have to see it on these last 2 episodes, one if not both. I'm more curious than anything, and I'm not going to ask you who, but I just want to tell you, I'm very curious at the casting. I want to say who. I want to see who's going to play Ty's family, her
I do
mom, her dad,
too.
all of that. I have no idea who it'll be, but I remember was it Sherry Shepherd that was Angie's mom?
Yes.
Yeah, so they dropped these cool little. We even had a Countess Vaughn cameo.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, Whoopi. I'm sure we'll see Whoopi these last couple weeks,
Mhm.
or episodes, should I say? I'm just very. That's something I'm always curious about. Like the casting has to be on point because we've heard about Ty's family, her leaving Georgia when she had to have her emergency surgery. So hopefully they put some thought into this, and I'm very curious how it's going to play out.
I think David Allen Greer is her father.
That would be dope.
I'm gonna think about the mother. Somebody's gonna be
Because
tall.
all the parents have been people we know. You think about it. It's been
Uh-huh.
Jasmine Guy, Rick Fox,
Uh-huh.
Sherry Shepherd,
Mhm.
and then you have
Joy Lee.
Joy Lee.
Mhm.
So they all been people we know. I don't think it's gonna be unknown. We really don't. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that has nothing to do with nothing. That's just about next couple of weeks. I'm just
Yeah.
curious to see who they cast because she's got to be going, and I'm sure she will be bringing Eva with her.
I think she kind of has to,
Yeah.
not just for the coming out of it all, but because I think she's going to need that emotional support from the person that she loves.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking about this real quick before we get to our next person. I don't even know how. First of all, it's hard to even fathom, but how do you even how do you even have that conversation or start that conversation or reach out? 10 years, it sounds like, since she's even said anything or talked to her parents. Or maybe she said, was it seen her parents or talked to them?
Both.
We're made to believe that there's no active
No
relationship at
contact.
all.
Correct.
Like if I'm the parents and you just pull up out of nowhere after 10 years of you ghosting and I don't know, man. I'm gonna be happy to see you, obviously, but that's shitty.
I think it's very shitty. It's shitty. But I think this is my mind working that Brandon, who still lives in Georgia, has told Ty's parents that he saw her and has given them an update on Ty's life since his exit. I believe that has happened. So they'll be taken aback to see her, but they will be sort of abreast of who and how she is.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. Who we gonna end with? Who we talking about next, Rachel?
Let's go Quinn
So
and
we'll
let's
go with
end it
Quinn
with
and end with
Camille.
Camille.
Yeah.
All right.
Camille or Quinn is blowing up. Quinn is blowing up as a stylist, thanks to Seth. But it is not all easy peasy because cameo by old girl
B.
B
Simone.
Simone, we learn that she is a disgruntled employee in that she did not steal Seth's wardrobe, but he lost his luggage. Did you buy that, or do you think that she really took the luggage or took his
I don't
outfit?
buy. There's nothing. Well, let me not say nothing. Up until that point, there's
Yeah,
nothing that would make me think that Seth would like make that up or lie about
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Especially him not knowing that Quinn was a stylist. Remember when they first met, he
Mhm.
didn't know that about her. So it's
Right.
not like he was trying to finesse his way into it. I think he genuinely lost his bag.
You think he
Yeah, because
genuinely lost it, or she took it, or took the
oh,
clothes?
no, I think she took. No, I think she was in possession of it, and I think they gone. I don't
Yeah.
think she did anything malicious though. I think she had them sent to where they're supposed to go, and somebody in between lost it. I
Okay.
don't know if she was supposed to. I know normally stylists bring their stuff with you and meet the person at the
Hmm.
hotel or venue so they can change and make sure everything looks good. So
Yeah.
normally, from my understanding, that the stylist would have that together. Um, so I guess if I'm believing that, then yeah, she probably did take them. I just don't know what her motive would be. It doesn't really matter, I guess, at the end of the day. What I wanted to ask you, and she did say that was a lie because he just wanted you
Harem.
in his harem.
Hmm.
So I do want to ask you this when it comes to not being a concubine, but when it comes to, I was about to say B. Simone, Camille, what's her name?
Carly.
Carly. Solidarity,
Hmm.
right? I understand what you mean. Or let me ask you this. Let me just back up. As a woman, what
Hmm.
did you think about that whole thing? Because Quinn, we know Quinn didn't do anything malicious.
Yeah.
Opportunity was presented, she took it. What do you think about her being accused of not being sisterly and her making the decision of, you know what, I'm just gonna drop it. I'm just gonna drop Seth and call it a day. Wash my hands of it.
Well, it was very much messy. Number one, it was
Yeah.
very, very, very much messy of Carly, because here's the thing: up to this point, Quinn is not a stylist. She's not someone known in the industry. So now that your name is out there, yes, people can Google that she has a boutique and this, that, and the third. But her being a stylist is a fledgling endeavor. It is in its infancy. So you have to know that I'm not really trying to step on no shit that you got going on. I don't even know you. So I thought it was messy of Carly to frame it the way that she did on Quinn's part, because really your beef is not with her. It shouldn't be, but it would be with Seth if he is putting out a false narrative about you, because to our knowledge, Quinn didn't address you or the situation in the media. All she did was accept one job, which turned into a couple other jobs. And so she did say, you taking my clients plural. But again, I haven't said shit to the public. I haven't said shit to anybody. I haven't said shit to your clients about you. So why would you take to Instagram to defame me, why not shoot me a DM and try to have a conversation with me if I'm taking money out of your mouth, food out of your mouth, money out of your pocket, if that is in fact the case.
Right. I looked at this whole thing as like, I don't know who you are. It's one thing you friends and there's honor amongst thieves. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I have a relationship with this person. That happens all the time, right? If you know somebody's
Mm-hmm.
not fit for a position and they ask you
Yeah.
for a letter of recommendation for someone that somebody hit me up and say, hey man, I really want to work for Rachel, right? I want to be
Mm-hmm.
Rachel's assistant. Like, can you write me a letter of recommendation? I know Rachel, and I can look at that person and know if they're qualified to do it or they're not.
Yeah.
And if they're not, in good faith, I'm not going to do that to Rachel. Like, nah, I'm cool. Like, we're not
Yeah.
going to do that. I don't know how many lawyers ask potential clients, like, who else have you gone to with this? Like,
Right.
I don't know if that really matters per se if you don't have any type of relationship. It's just about this is what's here. That's not even a train of thought that I would have. Like, let me make sure you're not working with anybody else that could be a conflict of interest when it
That
comes to a
part.
professional level, not an actual case level. So it was a little bit odd that she did paint it, and it was messy. I guess I can understand Quinn. You reach a point in your life where you just want peace.
That's
Like,
it.
it's not even worth it. Like, I know everything's good with Seth, but I'd rather just block that off and have my peace.
Let me ask you this. Shout out to Quinn for choosing peace. I thought she gave a very classy response to it. We know Quinn is not no fighter, so she wasn't about to get buck with old girl anyways. But was Carly a part of the harem in the story of the missing clothes is her leaving said harem?
Oh, he definitely knocked down Carly. So that's
Okay.
not down Carly. Come on, stop it.
Okay.
I think Carly knew what it was, so she's not making a big deal out of it and not putting herself out there. But if he wasn't like rocking with her, then she witnessed all of it.
Yeah. See,
Because
I thought
she said it so because people don't even use that word. You know what I mean? Like, they don't even use that word in the everyday sense. I know everybody now saying polygamy and all that stuff, but like she said it in a way that it's been a thing. Like, this is
mhm,
well-known information. Like, this isn't anything new. You are now a part of this.
which made me think that she was a part, and even the way in which she took to the live says less disgruntled former employee and more irritated slide
Yeah,
scorn lover.
yeah. That's water and oil like mixing.
So that's why I'm gonna
Um,
come for you in this particular way.
what that nigga say in Say the Last Dance? He's oil, you milk. Silly ass movie.
Man,
Um, Alyssa Milano, does she drag people online? Is that a real thing or
I,
something?
I think that she used to. She
Oh,
used to
really?
be big in the stories, like a big Twitter fingers. Hmm.
Like Rihanna level, like peak
And white,
Rihanna Twitter.
and white,
She,
yeah.
oh wow,
Hmm.
peak Rihanna Twitter was the pettiest of petty. Good luck booking that stage you speak of. Um, let's go
Shout
ahead
out
and
to
still talk.
Sierra.
Shout out to Sierra, man. Now straight up, shout out to Sierra.
Mhm.
But that shit's hilarious. I love both of them, but that shit's hilarious, man.
Shout out
Seth,
to Quinn.
I was gonna say Seth is talking to Quinn at his place,
Mhm.
incredible place in New York. Gets a phone call from the publicist, answers it without Quinn knowing
Mhm.
he answered, and she gives her pitch for what an Ebony Love photo shoot would look like. And to her surprise, she thinks he might want her to direct it. No, I want you to be in it.
Period.
First of all, random question.
Mhm.
I want to know what you thought about the photo show itself. And is it me or was it a little bit uncanny to have these random kids in the shoot?
Well, remember, she said I would have very big black luxury,
I
old Hollywood glam with kids and this, that, and the third. I don't like the children
I'm about to
in
say I get she
the
said it, but is
shoot.
that
Yeah,
yeah?
no, it's weird because
Okay,
them ain't y'all kids. Y'all not together. It's
all right.
strange.
I'm
I
glad it's
think,
not just me.
yeah, no, 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 no. I think that you could have kept the Hollywood glam, and if it's just black love and giving your relationship, why not be surrounded by friends and other family? Like, yes, we have a couple shoots, just us as a couple, as a partnership, but love is not, love is also agape. it's not just eros. It is friendship. It is so many other things, And I think that you could have showcased that, but throwing these random kids in here is wild.
That's what. All right, so it's not just me. I just thought it was kind
Yeah,
of
no,
crazy to
it's
have,
weird.
because I'm thinking there was a slight moment, maybe 2 seconds, where I'm thinking like, is this a private ceremony? Are they about to get married? Are these kids from a previous relationship?
I
Like this,
thought it
is
was
this a
going to be a
blended family?
flashback, low key.
I didn't know
Not
what
a
was going on.
flashback, but like a
Flash forward.
flash forward when that whole hello wife, hello husband. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Then it's no, we just had to shoot looking
yeah. Because
crazy.
if this is so, because that means all of this is fiction versus this is y'all real love. Like, why would they do a shoot
Exactly.
on something fiction? You can hire whatever. It doesn't matter. Um, Seth is doing all the things that
Hmm.
will make you seem like, oh, this dude's really into Queen.
For
Solid,
sure.
real player. Brings not only flowers for Quinn, but brings some for Camille.
Mhm.
Camille mentions how Seth is looking at her, and she's like, all right, so I'm not just imagining this. They're saying all
Mhm.
the right things. They're enjoying each
Mhm.
other's time. Quinn is letting her guard down,
Yeah,
turning into old Quinn, as she likes to say, picturing their future together. Seth is initiating the I love you
for sure.
as they're in bed, just got finished having sex, being intimate. Seth gets a phone call,
Mm,
leaves the bed,
yeah.
and you would think it's some sneaky stuff, and it is, but you see right away he tells, oh, I was with Quinn earlier. So
Hmm.
whoever's on the other line knows who Quinn is. So I'm thinking, all right, then maybe just somebody, homegirl, whatever, just didn't want to wake Quinn up.
Hmm.
Nah, I'll be landing in a few hours. Yeah, I'll see you soon, babe. I love you.
Woo.
After just telling Quinn that he loves her,
Hmm.
which kind of confirms Carly's whole point.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts? What were your thoughts as you watching that? And that's how the actual episode 4 ended. So what are your
Yeah.
overall thoughts when that came up?
It stressed me out because I was actually rooting for Seth and Quinn. And I know sometimes series and everybody just ends up with a happy ending and this and the third.
That's where I thought this was headed.
But that's kind of where I thought this was headed.
Mm-hmm.
And candidly, maybe through, if that is not what we're going to see, through Quinn's growth, now she's okay and it doesn't become a crash out moment. But before he hit us with that babe, I was like, oh, maybe that's his sister. Maybe it's somebody familial calling at this time of night. I don't know. But love you, babe. I don't think that's your sister. I've never said that to my brothers.
Yeah, yeah.
They've not ever said it to me. So it made me sad. And to your point, it gave credence to Carly's. He has a harem, and so everybody know about each other but you.
And it's funny because I once this gets brought up next week,
Hmm.
I feel like Seth's not even going to try to deny it. It's almost like, oh, you didn't know, like you never asked me, so I figured you just knew what it was. Because I'm a MLB player that just signed a $40 million contract or whatever. I'm good. Like, yeah, of course I got multiple women.
The quote that Quinn used was exclusively non-exclusive.
Well. Play in the dirt, you get dirty.
That's it. So you holding on to the hoes. It's stressing me out, and I don't want him to be living like that. My goodness. But you
Especially, I was gonna say, especially when he's showering Quinn with so much love. I've never been in a
love bomb.
I'm about to say relationship, but in general. But I've never been in anything of that nature where there's multiple, like a polygamy type of
Mhm.
situation. So I don't know how they're supposed to act. I don't know if everybody gets equal love. I don't know if there's rankings. I don't know how that goes. But he's showing real love, like one on one. You're the woman of my dreams.
Mhm.
You're you're the
Sunshine in
you're
my
the
life.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. You're the one I'm calling to do the photo shoots with.
Yeah.
Like you're the one that's gonna be out in front with the cameras, but everybody else still around. I
She
don't know.
just the new ass.
Oh yeah, you're the new one.
You're the new flavor of the month.
Because there's gonna be a new one after you.
Let me show you off. He said in an episode, I'm gonna come to New York and spend some more time with you. That means you got hoes in different area codes. So when
Hey,
you're in New York, you're with Camille. When you're in Atlanta, you with Sabrina. When you in Denver, you with Melissa. When you in Detroit, you with Keish. Like, come on, man.
Fab had a lyric years ago. Don't be shy, let them cameras expose you. The worst
Yeah.
that can happen is I Amber Rose you.
Mm,
And that's exactly what's going on, man. I'm just,
yeah.
here's take your 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I got your business off the ground. The tabloids and people know you. Now you on to your own. Do your thing. I got a new one. Shit crazy.
I hate that. I hate it for Quinn. I hope, even though I don't believe it, but I hope there is something else to that and he ain't just out here. But if he is, niggas go nig, and that's that.
Nigga fucking something as soon as he lands. What are we talking about?
I must smack.
And gonna talk to the. She said her name. I can't remember. And gonna talk to her about hitting Quinn. Like, oh yeah, shit was dope. Quinn, yeah, me and her, we good.
Kofi is just so fine. It's so hard to be mad at him. But but I'm gonna be mad. What I am happy though, I will say this, and as we taper off into the Camille of it all, we meet Cisco, Seth's roommate.
Return of the Dragon.
Return of the Dragon, who comes to the house with Seth and meets Quinn, who he's heard tons about in the locker room. And then he meets pregnant ass Camille, and he is flirting with her. He is on her. Here's the thing, we'll get into it, but I just knew I was bracing myself for a twist. In my mind, the twist wasn't going to be Seth in this harem, but I thought that Quinn was going to go to the bathroom or to the kitchen while Seth and Cisco were preparing snacks and they was going to be getting to it. That's what I was preparing. That's
Who?
what I was preparing my
Who?
body.
Hold on. Who was gonna be getting to it?
Seth and Cisco. I thought that was
How
going to be the
How the
twist.
fuck? How did your brain get there?
Because it's always some shit with these shows. It's always some shit. I thought that's was gonna be what was gonna happen. I was like, oh my God. If they are secret lovers, I'm gonna lose it. But they were not. Cisco is said Cisco turns out to be very much into pregnant women, as to which Angie said it's like one of the top porn searches. So
he was trying to hit the top of that baby head.
oh my lord, which you cannot do. But anyways.
Right. Listen.
Uh-huh.
That's funny. That's hilarious. I don't even the thoughts in your brain, Rachel.
Listen, beautiful mind.
Can't nobody deny that. Camille, as we talk about her, she's trying to do the independent thing, and this is when it gets once again. I'm sure everybody that's out there that was saying, like, see, that's why you're supposed to have this baby. Now you got to pay $1,600 for this, and that's just a light trip. That's for blood work. That's not even a visit. Crazy. She's got to do these multiple times, and she does not have insurance through Columbia anymore. She's freelancing. She's trying to get this advance money, which nigga turn in the chapters before you ask for an advance. So she sees real quick that she does not have the financial support that she needs. She goes through this episode, and obviously she reaches out to Ian and says, can we talk later? And Ian said, yeah, let's set it up. Pops up at the crib. Do you agree, Rachel, before we actually get to that scene, do you agree that it was implied that I'm going to pop up? Because I'm very big on I need 100% notice. Even if it was implied, I still need I'm on my way.
That part. Hey, it's now a good time. Are you home? What if I'm not even at home? What if I'm at the restaurant? Does he still have a restaurant? Like
he's doing something because he was able to Venmo that $1,600 with no questions.
I mean, so the pop-up was not implied. I
didn't think so either.
Was tripping in that aspect, but here is the problem. Not because she's kept that baby, but when you don't truly have a clean break, Camille is trying to operate like she's still with that nigga, and you are not. And so Camille is not used to having boundaries with him. So I'm gonna pop up.
Does that? Well, first, let me before I don't even know how we got this far. I mentioned last week about I won't forgive them, and I understand you're only working with 6 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna forgive them for not showing us the whole Ty Zoe,
Fallout.
Amy thing.
Uh-huh.
Fallout, exactly. Portia just cool with this, I'm assuming. Like there was never a conversation that we saw. Like is
I
she
wrote
still planning
down
on having? She's still planning on having babies. Like what's going on? Like please let us know.
in bold caps in these notes I said, does Portia know that Camille is pregnant?
Mm-hmm. I had no idea. Like
I
if she
don't
knew,
know that Portia knows that Camille is pregnant.
she has to because if Camille pops up and you come outside, you're a great pastry chef. You feed Ian.
Camille has
You
not
have to be
been going.
asking. I know that, but what I'm saying is, if you're Portia, you have to be asking, like, "Yo, what's going on? Why is she here?" She has to know she's here because pregnancy. That's the only thing. It's like one of those unknown. Remember how we talked about? We never got a solid answer on if Dro and Candace were really in an open marriage.
Mm-hmm.
That's how
You
I felt
feel
with
like
this.
this
Like,
is it?
yeah, does Portia know? There's no way. There's no. Well, let me not say that because Ian is very immature in some areas of life. So it does not. It would not be surprising if he went until the baby was born to tell Portia, "Oh yeah, by the way, Camille had just had a baby in his mind." That would be wild, but I can see Ian doing it. But there's no. She has to know. She has to know. If we get an episode next week of that baby being born, and that's the first time Portia finding out, I promise on everything.
Let me tell you, I know niggas who have kept that baby to themselves until they absolutely quote unquote had to say something.
Baby 4 years old.
Ray did that, so hopefully you'll have to go through that. So do I believe that there is a possibility that Portia doesn't know, even into this 8 months? Portia doesn't know that Camille is pregnant. Will that be absolutely fucking insane? Yes. But have stranger things happened? Also, yes. Because if everybody is on the up and up, you can't come to the house. If we cool, we
He
can.
invited her in. He invited her in to talk. That's another reason why I think she knows.
You invited her in, but you knew that she wouldn't.
Gonna come in.
Yeah.
And okay, because that's when that's also the first time Camille found out that Portia's living there, right?
That's when she found out Portia was living there. That's when she found out about the embryos.
Yeah, so the same way he didn't tell Camille about the embryos, maybe he didn't tell Portia about the baby.
Come on, because this baby is already in utero.
We just needed something. I just needed a scene. Either Portia is the coolest woman. Maybe she was in the harem and she just used to this life. Maybe she was in Seth's harem before, and she,
Man,
just don't phase her. But and like I said, what's to be done with her embryos? Is she still cool with it? Does she still want? I don't know, man. I don't know. Either way, Camille did bring up a good point. We talked about Ian saying, the whole pop-up thing and being applied.
mm-hmm.
It kind of reminded me of if there's a clip going around. Damon Wayans didn't mean it in this way, I don't think. But man, they've been kicking his ass in the comments.
Yeah.
About a comment he made about not seeing Damon Wayans Jr. until he was 5 weeks old.
Mm-hmm.
5 weeks old. And it came to something that Camille mentioned, like, hey, I don't get a break from this.
For sure. Mm-hmm.
Like things happen where they just are what they are. This is my 100% full-time life. And they were kind of on that with him because he told this beautiful story about, Junior was crying and he held him, but 5 weeks. And I'm sure, I think Lisa was on some like, my nigga, no, like this ain't how this works. You don't just get to swoop in. And I think every show that we see that involves two people trying to co-parent. Once again, we mentioned Insecure, Condola, and Lawrence had that conversation. Like you get to swoop in and be who you want to on the weekends. Rachel, you said it on our commentary. Like, nigga, you just get to come here and then you get to fuck on something on Sunday night. You know what I mean? Fly in Friday night, fuck on something Sunday night while she's dealing with all this other stuff.
Yeah.
That is something that I 100% agree with Camille on. And Ian is going to have to make sure that he makes arrangements for that, which once again, hopefully he has that open conversation. But what did you think about Camille's anger towards not knowing about Portia and the embryos and that possibly affecting her decision?
Oh, I feel like she's fully justified in that. Now, I started this episode off saying at 36, 7, 8, however old they are, already knowing you have a diminished chance to naturally conceive and carry, I understood why she kept the baby. Yes, two things can be true. I also will go in to say, if I know, even though we're not together, even though this baby is already in utero, if I know that you are actively planning and actively trying to have children, going through the steps to procreate with somebody else at this very same instant, I'm going to have to think a little bit harder, because here's the thing. She didn't know that Portia was living there yet, but I know that now you're in a serious, quote unquote, committed relationship. Me and my baby are just out here. So you are going to have the benefit of this other relationship and essentially a two-parent physical home with what you're creating. So why I have to think long and hard about what I'm doing and what I'm doing for my child.
Right.
What kind of environment I'm putting them in. Do I think you're a great dad? Yes. But we say all the time, or I've said it time and time again, the kids that don't live in the house have a very different experience. Camille is an anthropologist and has her own list of family issues. Her father passed when she was young. She knows firsthand what it's like to not have her father, that father figure in the home, and what that in turn did to her mother and essentially to her, how she navigates her own relationships in life. All of that matters. Give me the facts before I make this decision. Candidly, she has that information. You can still decide to keep the baby, but also I'm going to be prepared a little bit more to be even more by myself than maybe I thought on the front end of it. So let me decide. Maybe she would have said, I'll go without, because the reality is she said that she wasn't going to let fear stop her, but maybe that same fear that didn't stop her is the same fear that caused her to make the decision that she did, because I don't want a chance to then not be able to have a baby. Oh man, it is with the person that I love. This was created in love, in a situation where it could have been beautiful. This is what we wanted all along. It didn't come in the right package, but here it is.
That's the point that I was going to mention, and that was very well put by you.
Thank you.
We just discussed 5 Heartbeats on Culture Garden, and I'm sure there's a part of Camille that's looking at Portia. How's it feel to be me?
Yeah.
How's it feel to be me? Because that has to be devastating news to you really see Portia living your life. Like, had this happened, had this surprise pregnancy happened X amount of months sooner, then me and you would be living a happy life. I'd be living here with you and everything would be good. But because of the timing and circumstance, and it's got to be hard to accept that now that we do have this, you're still not willing to move up off of Portia the same way you moved off of Mira.
Come on.
Because it's a whole different thing. And I'm actually carrying your child. Yes, you're planning it, but this is a real thing. This is certain. This is happening. Like 100%. That's all planning and talking. Like, I'm just letting you know what it is. So this has to be, the human element of you has to feel that rejection of what is it about me that's not good enough.
Yeah.
When I've been there for you since however long. Like, we've
So
always been done.
They was friends. They was childhood friends.
Exactly. Well, who? Portia? Yeah, I get that, but still, Like y'all childhood friends, but this is whole new. I don't know. I get it. I get that. Like I said, I'm not even gonna try to justify or to make sense of it, but it's got to be disappointing. And then we see some different behavior where the communication is falling off because, Lamar's class is supposed to happen. Ian doesn't show up. She gets kicked out. And if you ever want to piss a woman off, hit her with the "my bad" after you do some night. Not "my bad" is for I forgot to get these chips from the store.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I'm running 5 minutes late. My bad. Not I missed Lamar's class and I had to get kicked out. I'm sure if she didn't go to the singles class, I'm sure that money wasn't coming back to her.
Yeah.
So that's some bullshit. And you don't tell me what's going on. You could have easily, your relationship should be strong enough to where you could have easily said, "Hey, Portia's dad got some shit going on, some real health shit. I can't talk, but I'm gonna call you as soon as I do." It should have never led to you banging on her door in the middle of the night, trying to see what's going on. Like, how dare you when you're not giving her the same courtesy? And you just told her about surprise visits. You just gave me a little, not talking to, but you just made a little slick comment about surprise visits.
Yeah.
And here you are doing the same thing.
He's checking on his child. She's not answering the phone.
Aren't they always?
Maybe he feels like something could be afoot. She is there alone. There's no man there to protect her and make sure that she and the baby are okay.
I get that 100%. He as he should pop up. Like my kid is there. But as you always say, Rachel, what's good for the goose?
Damn show.
Got to be good for the gander.
Come on.
It has to. So if you want that respect, I think you need to give it as well. Even though I understand the urgency of, hey, there could be something wrong. We saw them in the getting us with sonogram. We saw them for a quick moment. The baby kicked something off and it stopped everything. And how just relieved they were and how so I get the intensity of what's going on. And Ian really, once he found out they were having a healthy girl, like you can just tell he's into the fatherhood thing. We've known that he wants to be a dad. That's how we even got to this situation. And I want to shout out Ian for that. He didn't hesitate. And I was curious to know I was curious to wonder why Camille even thought that would be an issue when it came to financially being there or emotionally being there for her and the child. He told her over and over, "I got y'all. Send her the money ASAP and let it be known." Like, nah, what you think I am? I'm not a deadbeat.
Things change. He's in a relationship with somebody else.
That's fair. Let me ask you about this, and let's get to the kind of the ins and outs of it with Camille. You mentioned earlier there wasn't a clean break.
Yeah.
And she still doesn't know what boundaries look like when it comes to Ian. And a couple of times there's, "Hey, we finishing this. Let's go do this. Let's go get our Keith Leon for these chicken and waffles." Like, nah, I got to get back. I don't have that time for you again or in that way anymore. Right? I'm here for you for the stuff that I need to be here for.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be friendly. I'm not here and just pouting because I have to be here. I'm into it. But not in the way that you want me to be into it. And we see later in the episode, do you want to talk about Cisco first, or do you want to just get to the when he shows? All right. So we already know Cisco and Camille hit it off. We see in this episode Ian pulling up, sees Cisco there. I understand completely. I don't have kids, but what the fuck? I know my child's not born yet, but what's going on? It is that sense of I want to know who's around my children. I want to know who's around you. Like, are you safe? Like, what's going on as you're this late into your pregnancy? But they get on those steps, and she mentions, like, I just want to be friends. We were best friends at one point. Like, that's what we were, and I do miss that. Do you think there needs to be a boundary that's set, or can they have that relationship where they are best friends and co-parents?
Not enough time has lapsed, and it's been too much shit. You can circle back to friendship, but boundaries need to be established in the interim.
I think, I agree with that 100%. And I wonder what Portia thinks about that, which she probably doesn't tell her. Doesn't matter.
Does Portia know that Ian came banging on Camille's door in the middle of the night and is pissed that another nigga is there? No. Go ahead.
I mean, as far as them trying to establish a friendship and really saying like, hey, I need to spend some time with her. Not the same amount of time as you, but I do need to spend time with her as she is going through her pregnancy, and we need to make sure we have a good, healthy relationship for our child. Man, that's a trick, man. That's nasty. Just the whole scenario is just nasty right now. It's just a sick situation.
It's awful. Niggas need to cut their losses. Which also makes me think that Portia may not know. If she candidly, okay, now I done made embryos with you. I can't take these embryos and let another nigga raise these babies. I don't know, you know?
Right.
Everybody is too far gone. But if I'm Portia, I'm fucking pissed. If I know about Camille, I'm fucking pissed. Timeline be damned. Because here's the reality.
There's no way he don't. There's no way that. Hey, listen, if we find out next week that woman don't know about this shit, I promise on everything. I'm turning the episode off.
Listen, it has happened.
It has. I know it's a real thing, but that's why I'm like, man, come on. I really thought everybody's gonna get a happy ending.
No, that doesn't work. Clearly, it doesn't work that way. But the reality is that because Camille is in fact already pregnant, Portia and Ian, they can continue their relationship all you want, but you have to know as a woman that there is a level of time and attention that you have to forego because of the importance of this woman and this child. There will be times that you need to show up and be there for her and them. And maybe she feels like, okay, yeah, you can go to the appointment if she knows, but get back to this house. Don't work like that. This is a 24/7 job. So I'm probably not going to continue on this journey with you. Not just yet. We're not about to have it's Black History Month. We're not going to have Irish twins. Like, now I got to put my plans on hold. I'm the same age as y'all, so I'm getting up there too. I ain't no spring chicken. Now I have to wait even more. We finally have this beautiful moment where it's finally happening, and now I have to wait even longer because you got your old bitch pregnant. Tricky. Don't love it.
I know that she's not like a integral character, but I do want to see Portia's point of view at some point. Because she plays a big role in all of this, and it will help us understand a lot of things a lot better when it comes to all of this. So I don't know, man. It's just a real funny situation that Ian got himself in, but I think the show's done a great job of showing us over the past couple of seasons that it tracks with him.
For sure.
That's kind of who he is. All right. We've talked about all the characters, Rachel. Before we get out of here, I just want to ask you, do you have any predictions as next week will be our final episode ever covering Harlem for the four women? What are your predictions?
Well, before we get there, we didn't really talk about Seth, the Cisco of it all. What did you think about Cisco's interest in Camille and now moving from Seth's house or apartment to now being comfortable at Camille's house, rubbing feet and shit while she's pregnant with some other man's baby, and him being open to entertaining her whilst gestating?
You asked me on an episode when we did the photograph if I could date a pregnant woman. I affectionately said, wouldn't let that shit happen to me though. But it doesn't surprise me. Cisco's a teammate, professional athlete. Who knows? Like,
niggas is freaky frogs.
That's what I'm saying. Who knows? This could be something. I do believe Camille, Angie, when she mentions that's a fetish for some people.
Yeah.
I think he's into her, but it's a little odd. It's one of those. If that was me, all right, let's say I am into Camille, I'm Cisco. We can keep contact. We can be cool. Let's talk once the baby not only is delivered, but the baby, like, you used to being a mother and kind
Yeah.
of establishing this new life. That's the whole thing. Maybe we can take that time, that year or so, to see it, just kick it. I'm still gonna be doing my thing. Maybe we
Yeah.
could talk. Maybe I find out you're dope as hell. Maybe we become really good friends and there's something to explore. I think that I would assume that athletes are more so of a on go type of thing, that they're
Mm-hmm.
used to getting what they want and they kind of have this 0 to 100 mindset. That's how a lot of them even make it to the top of their profession because they always want to go. So I think they see something or Cisco sees something that he wants and he's after it without really thinking it out. I don't think it's like a Seth situation though. I think he's really digging Camille. It's just a little bit odd. The whole thing is just odd. I feel Camille should think this is odd. Like, I'm 8 months pregnant. I don't want you rubbing my feet. Or
But
maybe she does.
Camille,
She did mention she wanted male attention.
yep, she's lonely because she
She's
is a
lonely.
single woman carrying a baby, and her child's father is not accessible to her in that way.
Yeah, no, that's. I don't knock Camille. Let me not say I don't.
Them
I don't.
hormones going crazy. You just want to feel like something. You missed the conversation of a man and this, that, and the third. And
I
here
don't know.
this
I feel like.
nigga is knowing my situation or some of it. And it's giving me that. So I'm open.
Yeah, I feel like Cisco's like I said, I think he's a genuinely good person.
Maybe.
I don't think anything's odd about him. I think he was up there probably just talking to her and really rubbing her feet. He probably was asking her, like, how'd you get in this situation? What do you do?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was anything funny style. Even when Ian came, it wasn't no like buck up. Like, all right, man, I'll go. I'll leave. Like, I respect what's going on here, and I'll remove myself. I already know what it looks like. But there are times when you put yourself in situations knowing that it could be hostile, but I'm cool. I'm here with it. Like, we'll see what happens.
What did you think of Ian's reaction?
I can understand it.
Yeah.
I can understand that because he's looking at it from the sense of who is this nigga? Who are these niggas? Who is this nigga around you while you can't answer my phone? I don't think it was I'm jealous. I think it was if I hit you up, answer. I gotta make sure my kid's okay. And that's the catch me too, right?
My call.
That's why I
make
said
sure your kid is okay.
And that's why Ian he has to go through that. Sometimes life is the best teacher.
Yeah.
So maybe you do got to pop up and see another nigga coming down the steps before you realize, like, oh shit, I need to tighten up. I don't think it was romantic though. I don't know. And I guess this can lead into predictions. Do you think that Ian and Camille have any kind of romantic future together?
Yes.
Okay. So Ian and Camille.
Go ahead.
Ian and Camille end up together. I don't know how. Don't ask me how. I just think it happens. I'm still gonna roll with Mike and Angie being together. I think it's gonna be a small, intimate wedding. It's gonna be in Staten Island, in her backyard. Here's what's gonna happen. Angie is going to put her family on to Mike and kind of show him what that love looks like, and say, you know what? I'm sorry that you don't have that, but let me show you what it's like and welcome you in. I can see a compromise being at her family, like I said, her backyard, something with them and just them taking him in. I do think they end up together. Ty and Eva, I think they're locked in. I just don't know what that looks like. I think the biggest thing for Ty is going home to see her parents and really resolving some of these things. Hopefully it ends with Ty going into therapy. I think that would be a fitting end for her, like addressing all these things head on, because she's good at telling people to address things head on, but doesn't do it herself. And then lastly, we have Quinn. I have no idea what the fuck is going on. Like, Quinn is the one character that I thought was if you would have asked me before this season started, which one of these 4 women is going to have a happy ending, I thought it was going to be Quinn because of what she's going through so far in this series.
Yeah.
And I thought she finally was at a point where she was so secure and sure of herself that she wasn't going to let herself fall into this, which I don't think she let herself. I think she thought this was real and legit, but also realized that, oh shit, now I'm in it. And now what? Does she have it in her to leave? Is there a bigger explanation? I have no idea how the Quinn storyline is going to end. We'll see. I hope she finds. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck to do with Quinn.
Okay. I agree. Ty and Eva locked in. Ty goes home. Happy ending. Say the family has changed. You know, 10 plus years have gone by, maybe they're a little bit more accepting. Again, I already said it. I do think Brandon has prepped her family. I do think that.
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't think Angie and Mike get married. I
Okay.
think that Mike comes to the performance of Girls Trip the musical and is so put off by it. Hmm. He's either very put off by it all, regardless, or is enamored by Angie on stage. But I don't think that they are truly aligned in the way in which I maybe thought at the beginning. So I think that they do have a heartbreaking separation. I actually still am going to hold on to the fact that they do not get married at the end of this. Quinn. I don't know what's going to come of this.
No idea.
I don't see Quinn agreeing to be a part of the harem if that is in fact what exists. But if they break up, quote unquote, despite all of this love, I don't think she crashes out the way in which she used to. I don't think it becomes like this great devastation because she's been doing the work, Not only is the boutique thriving, but now she also has the opportunity as a stylist to sort of shine. So maybe she meets somebody, maybe she and I can't remember her actual husband Trey's character's name. Maybe he comes back around and you know what? Now the time is right.
Maybe The Rock shows up like the end of Why Did I Get Married Too?
I fucking hope
after Patty killed her husband, and responsible for this nigga crashing out, literally.
Patty messed up.
And she gets the new man because she came up to the office acting up. Whatever, whatever. No. But either way.
And Camille, I think that one, I'm still holding on to not being positive that Portia knows about the baby. That's for one. For two, Ian, despite being locked in and quote unquote not coming up off of Portia, his words, I don't think he's totally up off of Camille neither. I do think that he's holding on to the hurt of it all because the reality is, and you said it, he wouldn't even be with Portia if Camille had wanted a baby in the first place. Portia would not exist in his life in this capacity. But now she does. I do have some obligation, but I think that it's going to get very tricky. I think the baby is born. Ian and Camille get caught up in the new life of it all, share a kiss, this, that, and the third, maybe do a little bit more. Don't wait 6 weeks, and here we are randomly, Camille is pregnant again. And that's how they end it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be something wild. Or
I like that.
Camille is going to deliver and Portia comes and she's bellied out. Maybe Camille doesn't know that not only do the embryos exist, what she does, but that the embryos have been implanted.
But that's a shitty way to end the series for Camille. Like that's what we get left with. I don't know. I know what you're saying is 100% happen. Nothing's gonna surprise me.
Yeah.
It's just very interesting to witness. I do, and you mentioned this, 100% think there's going to be a time jump, another time jump of some sort. Don't know what it's going to be or when it's going to be. We're going to have to time jump to see how it all ends, even if that does happen. So what you're saying could happen, Rachel, but I still think the show ends with what does happily ever after look like for them. Like, what does this look like for them in 5 years, whatever the case may be?
I think we get a wedding, but it's Ty and Eva.
Now I can see both of them being at Shaprani, or if that's the name, whatever it is.
Cipriani's.
Yeah, that one. All right, Rachel, you got anything else?
That's really it. We'll see. Like, comment, subscribe, share, tap in. Let us know your thoughts on the episodes, on this episode, as well as your predictions for the next two. Thank y'all for watching and listening. We love y'all. Peace out.
Peace.